Kuzambo. Welcome to Bhutan e-learning project. This is a geography lesson. I am Bimprasad Bhattarai, teacher in Karma Academic. And today I am going to teach you a very interesting lesson, that is industrial resources. And today we are going to deal about industrial resources. Now, before going deep into the lesson, I would like to share you the lesson outline. First, we are going to deal about introduction. We are going to talk or discuss about types and classification of industries, factors affecting the location of industries, and finally, we are going to wrap up the lesson with discussing impact of industrial development. Then, at the end of the lesson, student, you must be or should be able to explain the meaning of industry. You should be able to explain the factors affecting the location of industry, and you should be able to elaborate the industrial impact. That is the objectives for today's lesson. Now let's start. What is industry? Let's read there. Industry in general sense means production of goods and services in an economy. Let's see another slide. It also refers to the group of enterprises, private or government operated corporation that produces specific types of goods or services. Now let's see another one, that the word industry comes from the Latin word that is industria, which means industry, reflecting highly disciplined way in which human energy, natural resources and technology are combined to produce goods and services in modern economy. Now let's see, industry means an area or a unit where raw materials are converted into final products with the help of manpower, technology and power supply. Once again, industry is a unit area where raw materials, for example, apple can be a raw material. That apple is converted into apple juice, that is final product, right? So therefore, industry means unit or an area where raw materials are converted into final products. Okay? Let's proceed. Next one. There are three different sectors of industry, right? Three different sectors of industry. Number one is primary industry. Number two we have is secondary industry. And number three we have is tertiary industry. Now what's meant by primary industry, secondary industry and tertiary industry? Let's understand. Primary industry means involves in collecting raw materials like agriculture, fishing, mining, animal husbandry. These all are primary industry, which means they are involved in collecting raw materials. Secondary industry involves in manufacturing, processing, right? Then tertiary industry means providing services like doctors, teachers, salesmen, business, hotel manager and so on, right? So now for example, let's take example as apple. Apple is raw materials. So collecting apple is a primary industry. Then it will be sent to secondary industry for processing or to make apple juice or final product, right? And that final product will reach to the market where businessman will provide the service. That's how primary industry, secondary industry and tertiary industries are distinguished. So now let's see the classifications of industries. Industries are classified based on raw materials, based on investment in labor, based on ownership. Now the industry based on raw materials are agro-based industries, forest-based industries and mineral-based industries. And those industries based on investment in labor use are large-scale industries, medium-scale industries, small-scale industries and cottage industries. And finally, industries based on ownership are government-owned, private sector, corporation and joint industries. Now, in geography, we are going to focus purely on industries based on raw materials, that is agro-based industries, forest-based industries, mineral-based industries, and rest the industries based on investment and based on ownership will be discussed in economic chapters. Now let's see what is meant by agro-based industries. Agro-based industries are those industries which use agriculture product as the raw materials, right? Like Bhutan Food Product Limited is the agro-based industry, right? That use the raw materials from agriculture, or industry which depends on agriculture to the raw materials. Sorry, industry which depend on agriculture to get the raw material is called as agro-based industry. Now forest-based industry. Forest-based industries are those industries which use the forest resources as the raw materials. Which use the forest resources as the raw materials. And mineral-based industries are those industries which use or which depend on mineral as their raw materials. Hope you got the distinction between agro-based, forest-based and mineral-based industry. Now, factor affecting location of industry, or we can also say prerequisites for industry. Or I can give you a simple thing. If you want to develop an industry, what thing you must need, or the factors affecting location of industry. That's what we are going to discuss now. It's interesting. See, there are factors are categorized in two broad, that is geographical factors, non-geographical factors, right? Now, geographical factors are also called as non-economic factors, and non-geographical factors are also called as economic factors. Now, let's see geographical factors. There are many geographical factors, out of which I am going to teach you just about 5. Okay. Now, and I want to give you a hint. Gasa do not have an industry, but Samsi, Thimphu, Chuka have large number of industries. Why? What's the reason? Let's find out. And these factors will explain you. Now, geographical factors are availability of raw materials. Raw materials are basic inputs. Raw materials are the very important factors for growth of industries. And the industries, for example, which use heavy and weight-losing raw materials, like cement in the industry. For example, 20 metric ton of limestone is needed to produce 1 metric ton of cement, right? Heavy raw material is being used there, right? So therefore, those industries which use heavy and bulky raw materials will be located near to the raw materials. Like agro-based industry can be also one, right? Now, next factors, availability of power. Power supplies, like electricity power, for example, takes electricity, a power supply, right? Industries are mechanized, and there are machines to run the industries. Although there are machines to run the industry, but power supply is very important for the growth of industry, right? So industry will be located in a place where there is good power supply, right? Okay. Next, availability of labor. Labor, manpower also we can say, labor. Labor is needed in the industry to run the machine. Even though in this 21st century or even in the modern world, there is mechanized systems, the machineries has been developed for the growth of industry. But still then, even to run the machine, to run the administration and to do lots of work in the production system, manpower is very important factors. So therefore, industry are located in an area where there is large number of population which help to supply the labor resources, mostly in urban centers like in Thimphu and like in Chuka and Samsis, right? Now, next factors is availability of transport. Transport is very important factors in fact. Transport is most and very important factors. Without transport, industry cannot function well. Because now, transportation like air transport, road transport or water transport, these modes of transport helps to carry the raw materials to the industry and helps to carry the final products to the market, right? Therefore, wherever there is good mode of transportation, the industry will grow. For example, in Bhutan, industry started only after 1960s. That is only after establishment of national highway, right? Now the last factors is accessibility to market. The life of industry or the life of manufacturing will not end until and unless the final product reaches to the market. For example, the industry produces apple juice, but that apple juice needs to be sold, right? So that needs a market. So nearness or proximity or nearness to the market is very important factors. And if the factory is located near to the market, then the transportation cost will be reduced. So therefore, industry will be located in an area where there is market nearby. Like Chukha, Samsi has huge number of industries. That's just because of the border market that we have to India, right? So these are the prerequisites or the factors affecting location of industries, geographical factors. Now, next, let's see some non-geographical factors. First non-geographical factor is capital. Capital here talks about money, right? Money, right? So money is needed. Capital is needed from the beginning to set up the land, to develop the buildings, to establish the industry, to buy the machineries, to procure, and even money or capital is needed at final stage to pay the payment for labor. So investment or money becomes the very important factors. So the industry will develop in an area or in an area where there is good amount of capital resources. Now next, government policy. Government policy also affects the location of industry. Government policy like rural-urban migration, right? Development of rural areas. If government has policy to reduce rural-urban migration, then the industry will come up in rural areas rather than in urban areas, right? And if government has aim, like Bhutan has, we have the constitutional mandate to have 60% of forest cover, 60% of land under forest cover. These kind of systems also restricts the growth of industries to respect the nature. And in fact, there is another system, another government policy, that is environmental impact assessment, right? Which is a mandatory to do before the development of any activities. So these kind of policies are rural-urban development of rural areas, 60% of forest cover, environmental impact assessment policy, sometimes restricts the development of industries as well. Banking facilities. Banking facilities, when it comes to here, huge amount of exchange will take place daily in the industry. Crores and crores of rupees has to be exchanged in the industry daily, which is possible only with the help of financial institution such as banking, right? So industry will develop where there is banking, good banking facilities, right? Now, insurance. Insurance here means help provided by the government or some financial institution, because there is always fear or dangers of natural hazards, damaging your machineries, collapsing down of your buildings because of earthquakes, floods, and so on. So what kind of insurance help or insurance facility you will get it? So the area which has good insurance facility will have good number of industry. Now political stability. It talks here war, theft cases, security, and so on. If you have a place where the theft cases always happen, there is a war, and when you develop your industry is being robbed, so many things happen there, right? So those areas will not have industry, right? So political factors are very important for the growth of industry. So these are some of very important elements that you have to see before the growth of industry. Now hope you got why Gaza do not have industry, why Chukha, Thimphu, Samsi has large number of industry. It's because of good mode of transport, accessibility to market, banking facilities, and so on. Okay? Now, next, impact of industrial development. Impact can be both positive and negative, right? Of course, industry helps to do a lot of things, but still industry has negative impact. Now, let's see these positive impacts. It creates better employment opportunities, which means it helps to reduce the unemployment rate in our country, because industry needs huge number of laborers to work, right? So that's how it provides the jobs or job opportunities to the job seeker. That's how it reduces the unemployment rate in our country, thanks to industry. Now, next one is helps to increase the export and decrease the imports. Industry will manufacture various types of goods, which helps to increase our export. Exports means goods that we export to outside country, and imports mean goods that we bring from outside country. So which means it helps to export. It helps to increase the export and reduce the imports and makes the balance of payment favorable. Very good. Thank you to industry. And it also raises the living standard of the people. A simple example here, if there is agro-based industry in your community, in your locality, right, you are going to sell some amount of apple, some amount of cardamom, some amount of some goods of orange, and you are going to earn income, right? That's how it will improve your income and living standard. And another way is that industry will provide job opportunities, and those people who are working in the industry can earn amount and increase their living standard. That's how it helps to raise the living standard of our people. Now, industrial development ultimately results in development of the country. Yes, industrial development will lead to the economic development of the country, because it is going to improve the GDP of our country, it's going to improve the exports, it's going to reduce the unemployment rate, and it is going to increase the living standard of our people. That are the parameters to develop the country. And these are all the parameters which helps to develop the country. That's how industry helps to develop. Industry helps to develop our economy. So now we have seen the positive side of industry, but still then, there are negative impact of industry. Let's see this. Environmental, the first negative impact is environmental degradation. Environmental degradation. Now see, environmental degradation, huge amount of land has to be cleared. Huge forest area has to be cleared for construction of industry. Road has to be developed, and these will lead to soil erosion, this will lead to deforestation, which ultimately result into environmental degradation. Now pollution. Pollution here means land pollution, water pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, right? When you go to nearby industrial area, lots of sounds comes out, right? That's called as noise pollution there. And you sometimes you don't like this, you say this too much, I don't want to stay here also, right? That's how noise pollution comes out. Now it leads to, pollution of air. You go to industrial area, how the smoke is coming out. That's how the air gets contaminated, air gets polluted, right? Water pollution. The industrial waste and chemicals are drained out to the water areas, which will pollute and contaminate the water there, and even the lands, right? So industry leads to lots of pollution. Then, industry also leads to urban sprawl and reduction of agricultural land. Urban sprawl means expansion of the town. So industrial resources will expand the business, and expanding of the business will lead to development and expansion of urban areas. When urban area expands, what happens is the nearby farmlands and the nearby forest area will be reduced, and the agriculture land will be reduced. Of course, it gives good impact, but still it leads to negative impact by urban sprawl and reduction of agriculture land and forest area. Then no equal development in the country, which means regional disparity will be created by industry. Regional disparity means one region fully developed, another regions is underdeveloped. Look at, for example, Gaza, underdeveloped type, and then Chukha, Thimphu, these are developed Songkhak, right? Right, that's how. The area where it has the industrial zone will be developed because business will be established, unemployment rate will be reduced, then the urbanization will be growing. But in the area where there is no industry, will not have good development. So that's how the regional disparity is being created by industrial development. Next one, see, rural depopulation, rural urban migration. Rural depopulation means reduction in number of population in rural areas, which means regressive population in rural areas. This is because all the people, or most of the people will flock in the area of industrial zone to get good opportunities, good employment opportunities, and so on, where rural areas gets depopulated. And depopulated area will have less agricultural products, the land will be left fallow, and so many problems will arise just due to industry. All right. Now, overpopulation in the industrial areas. Now, similar to above point, you just see it. The people will migrate from rural areas to industrial zone. Rural area will be depopulated. But you look at another site in industrial zone, what happens? Overpopulation explosion will take place because the population in migration happens there, so the population will keep on increasing, right? So there will be problems of population pressure. So that's how negative impact of industry. Okay? Now, lesson closure. Today, we discuss what is meant by industry, an area where the raw materials are converted into final products. Then we discuss about factor affecting localization of industry. We discuss about geographical factors, non-geographical factors, and some of them are transportation, raw materials, power supply, and labor, right? Then we discuss about impact of industry, positive impact and negative impact, right? In positive impacts, it's provide employment opportunities, increase economic development, creates increase the living standard of peoples, increase exports and reduce imports. That's how it creates balance of payment. In negative impact, we discuss pollution, environmental degradation, and so on. And now, I have a question to you. Please note down. Question number 1. Briefly explain how government policy influences the growth and development of industries in a place. Next, why the pace of industrial development in our country is very slow. Discuss the role of industrial sector in our country. So these are 3 question student activity for you. Thank you and see you in next lesson.